I never know if I'm live yet, but maybe I am. Okay, here we go. We are live Sunday morning. How are you all feeling today? How are you guys feeling? Rise and shine. Rise and shine. So, oh my goodness. First thing. So, I woke up this morning. I was feeling fucking great. And that is not to say because my life is always great. I was crying for like the last 14 hours. I did some deep healing. So I just woke up and I was like, I'm alive. I'm alive. So that's why I had to wear this red. Hi, Becky. Yay. Hey, Kim. Yay. I love you guys. Oh, you're the perfect two people right now to be on the call. How's your Sundays? Or is it or is it how are you guys feeling? Oh my gosh. I had to wear my red lipstick today because I was feeling awesome and I just got back from the Muskoka Lakes and I feel recharged and it was great. And so I would love to answer your burning questions. I think I might start off with Becky's question, and let me try to recite this because she asked, how do you calm your mind when you're feeling good? Great, Kimmy, I love you. How do you calm your mind when you're in a state of emotional stress and your mind is hijacking you, like with either negative thinking or shameful thoughts, that kind of thing. And people can have this when sometimes when they're triggered or they get cravings or they get, it could be cravings for food, cravings for alcohol, whatever. So, and I think Becky's question had to do with when it's hard to go into, it's so charged that it's hard to go in and do the inner work. So correct me if, Becky, if you're still on the call, just like correct me, make sure I'm saying the right question for you. So I used to have this when I was in the heat of my alcohol addiction, and my mind was the fucking boss. It was no comparison to how I am now. It was so in charge because I had been living from, there was no me at the time. There was no this inner self, subconscious, emotional self. I had not allowed that part of my identity that much. So the mind, up until the time, like at least till I was like, it had been running the show. It had been go, 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 force, 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 doing, shame. If I fell off track, there was a lot of shame and a lot of judgment and hating on myself. I don't know if you guys feel that. Just whenever you don't do anything right, like I should do better. I should know better. I shouldn't have made mistakes. What's wrong with me? So when it's hard to go in the body, I remember the first thing I did when I was trying to take control of my thoughts is, first of all, and I think, Becky, you and I have done this a little bit, is when your thoughts are so the boss, you can have a little bit of a war with your thoughts. And by that, I mean, start to talk back to them. So if the thoughts are saying, oh my God, look at you, you're never going to amount to anything, I would start, okay, have you guys seen that book, Power versus Force? Power versus Force. If I can find it I'm looking on my library right now. I'm going to see if I can show you the pyramid. So depression and shame is one of the lowest vibrations on the hierarchy of emotions. So if you take enlightenment, say enlightenment is in 1,000 on a scale of 0 to 1,000. Shame and depression has a vibration of 30 on the hierarchy. The next emotions is maybe like fear. Fear is maybe like a 50. Then one of the next emotions is the anger. Anger has a stronger vibrational energy compared to shame, because shame and depression is very debilitating. When you're in shame, you're gonna find you can't get out of bed in the morning, right? Does anyone on the call feel that? Like when they get into depression and shame, like it's hard to do the dishes. It's like, yesterday I woke up and I had that major depression. I had like emotions coming up. It's hard to do the dishes. It's hard to go for a walk. It's hard to even call a friend and ask for help. So when you're in depression and shame, it's paralyzing. So what you have to do is start to move your energetic state out of depression into this is what people do. When they're sad, they think they should be positive. But positivity, that is a way higher vibrational state than shame. Okay? So that's not going to work, because that's going to make you feel less than. It's going to make you feel less than. It's going to make you feel lacking, because say the vibration of acceptance or the vibration of positivity might be like 300, 400, but you're at like a 30. So you got to take the next step, maybe up to like a 40 or a 50, or even you got to start getting angry about being paralyzed, angry about being depressed, because anger, that I think the vibration of anger is like 100, it's like 160 to 180. So it's higher, because anger is like a call to action. It's like, fuck this. I'm so fucking tired of this. Fuck this. That vibration is no longer paralyzing. It's like, enough is enough. I'm going to fucking do something about this. So when you can raise your vibration, you start to get angry with your mind. Stop telling me I'm such a failure. Stop it. Shut the fuck up. When you can start to argue with your mind, the thinking in your mind, it raises the vibration, because the shifting vibration that you want to get to is courage. Courage is like 200 on this scale. And courage is the flip from like negative almost to positive. Because that's when you start to actually take action. You go, hi, Megan. Oh, yay. I'm so glad you're out here. Yeah, when you do the flip. So it's like, you get yourself to finally go do the dishes. Or maybe you get yourself to, for me yesterday, it was going for a hike. Going for a hike and being in nature. So it was like moving to that place. Or maybe you start to be like, fuck this. I'm not going to let drinking and this and blah, 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 and my mind's control my life. Fuck you. So building, that's why this is for Becky. When I was on the call with you, that's why sometimes when you're depressed and you try to do inner child work, if you feel ashamed that you have to keep going into the sadness and the depression, sometimes it makes it worse. That's why with you, I was like, oh, tell me again something else that's wrong with me. Tell me blah, blah, blah. Because if you start to even get yourself laughing about it, laughing when you're in depression, what you start to do is you slowly start to raise your vibrational state. And when you start to raise your vibrational state, you start to move into a place of movement, into a place of, it starts to move you out of that and starts to attract more things into your world. So it's like instead of, if you say are depressed and you're telling yourself you shouldn't be depressed, that is the first problem. Like, this shouldn't be happening. I should be happier. I was supposed to do this today. I should be productive today. You have to drop the shoulds. So that's a big thing. So you have to, first thing is to start to just slightly accept where you're at. Like, with some humor. Oh, fuck. How depressed can I be today? Like, that's what I do. Whenever I'm depressed, I ask myself, fuck, how sad. If I'm going to do this, like, how sad, how pathetic can I be today? You know, how pathetic can I be? Because when you start to bring that lightness to the dark, that is what you're doing. You're bringing the lightness to the dark. You're not trying to get rid of the dark. That's the problem. You're not trying to get rid of the dark. You're adding humor to it. I'll give you one more example with this. When I was sleep deprived for like 2 years from my son, he never, no matter what I did, I constantly would wake up or he would cry. If I went to bed at 11 with him, he'd be up in an hour. If I went to bed at 7, he'd be up an hour. So I just started to say, fuck it. You know, I just like, here I am trying to get sleep, which is making me depressed, trying to get sleep. This is the thing. This is what depression is trying to be somewhere else than other than where you are. Right, guys? Anybody feel that? Trying to be somewhere else other than where you are. And so what I started saying is, how little sleep can I get? I just started to full surrender. Just be like, okay, I'm expecting to never get sleep. Like, instead of going to bed, this is the problem with positive thinking. Instead of going to bed expecting you're going to get sleep, expecting you're never going to be depressed, expecting that you're never going to relapse, you need to go expecting that you are going to do those things. You are never going to get sleep. You are going to relapse, because it's like when you expect the worst, then everything else is gravy. You know what I'm saying? You have a good day, you're like, fuck yes, this was supposed to be a shitty day. I need a shitty day, damn it. I need a shitty fucking day. I don't know if anyone finds me as funny as I think I am. Yeah, so I think you have to go in and first of all just change the vibration of feeling like this shouldn't be happening, right? And another thing to change emotional state. So when you're in it, when you're in a big, what I used to do when I was having relapse triggers is when I couldn't go into the emotions, they were too strong, I would start by writing a list of anything I could do. Oh, Becky, you do find me funny? Oh, that's good. Thank God. Writing a list of anything I could do. And then I would just choose the easiest thing to do off that list. It could be like watching a video. It could be washing a dish, washing one dish. It could be brushing my teeth. Maybe that would be something big. And then I would be like, oh my God, you're so good. You just brushed your teeth today. You're on fire, right? The littlest thing. I'd be like, look at you. And I would talk to myself. I'd walk around the room. This is what I do when I'm in this. I'd be like, oh my God. And that's another thing I would do is I would talk out my emotions as if I was like a friend was there. Or you could call a friend and just say, oh, blah, blah, blah. Because the thing with emotions is they just want to be heard. They just want to be heard. They just want to be given attention. So the minute you start to talk it out, even for me, I go on drives and I'm like, oh my God, I can't believe this happened. I can't believe that happened. So I just start to talk it out. The other thing I do to shift emotion is I exercise. So if I'm really in a funk, what I try this, okay, I'm going to give you guys these crazy tips that I use to get myself out of thinking is one, I either exercise, so I would like do like a whole bunch of push-ups and somehow that starts to move the energy and bring on like almost like a dopamine rush. So that's if you can do exercise like a quick. We're not talking, because you're not going to want to go when you're depressed, long exercise, like on jump squats, or I'd do anything to kind of change my physical state. The other thing I would do is sometimes I can't believe I'm saying this to you guys, but I would masturbate. It sounds fucked up. But if you have energy in your first and second chakra, masturbation can really boom. It can move that energy and bring up emotions. Anybody on the call cry after they have sex? I don't know. Comment below. But if you do, you might be one of those people that is a good tool to use. And I use that today a ton to move as a healing technique, to move my energy. So those are some of the tips, okay? Becky, I don't know, let me know, does that satisfy you? Do you feel satisfied from that answer? Of like how to shift some of that negative thinking? Oh, Kim says I use too. Kim uses that too. Megan. So Megan says, oh my God, I had the emotions come up too. There was a feeling and I ignored it. I was anxious and sad all day and I didn't know why till I actually let myself feel it. Working on letting myself feel. This is the thing. The more that you can just let yourself feel these emotions that arise. Like, I'll give you an example. In the past, when I was going through healing, I would resist the going in. I would resist, like if I had a Saturday, I wouldn't spend an entire Saturday healing myself. I'd be like, oh my God, do we have to do this, blah, blah, blah. Whereas now, I've started to recognize that like there's this thing in our culture where to manifest, to make things happen, you have to do, right? You have to do to make things happen. And people don't classify healing as doing, but it is. They don't give it value. Because the thing is, when it comes to manifesting anything in your life, it's about getting into alignment. So in order to get into alignment, you have to change your emotional state, because your emotional state is your vibrational state. Hold on, I'm reading what Kimmy says. So your emotional state is your vibrational state. So when you start, okay, I'll give you an example of this. When I went away on vacation, I've been going through like 2 months of emotional roller coaster. And I've been wanting to do and get this work done to bring in money, but I can't, because I'm just having to go into all my emotions all day long. And so my biggest new manifestation is the more easy my life is, the more abundance comes. The easier I have it, the more money I bring in. The easier I have it, the more people I help. The less I work, the more joy and abundance and fullness and richness in my life. So wouldn't you know, I went on holiday. I was like, fuck it, I'm not going to do any work. I'm just going to raise my vibrational state, whatever that is. And that could be being in my depression, allowing my sadness, having so much fucking fun, not working. And wouldn't you know, I made $8,000 on the week that I was away. So I'm telling you, it's all about co-creating with spirit and moving into the energetic and vibrational alignment of that which you want, if that makes sense. Okay, so the problem is with people, though, is they try to, like what Becky said, they're down here and they want to get up here. That's too far of a jump. You can't shift your vibration from depression, except it does happen in the odd case when you just have such a shift like that. But most of the time, if you're really in depression mode, you got to take baby steps. Do something small. Like maybe like yesterday, I was feeling super depressed and anxious. And what made me feel better, I was like, I did some healing. I did like 5 healing episodes, things on myself. And then I needed to get out of the house. I could feel it. So follow your impulses. And I was like, I want to go and get a latte and a honey cruller. And people, if you have in your mind that that's bad, that if that's not a good thing and there's shame, well then, you know, that's a problem. But when you shift that, when you start to shift it, I went, I got a latte, I got a honey cruller, I walked on my trail, and I was like, oh, this is so good. I love honey crullers. So, what I'm trying to say is you change your vibrational state. Every single time you do it when you're depressed, you move up just a little bit, you're going to start to get yourself out of your funk. Okay? Heck, even can pull you away from an urge or a binge eating. Yes. Anyone else have a question on the call? I'm going to wait for a couple of minutes while you guys think of a question. And I'm going to, while someone's thinking of a question, I want to share with you this yummy recipe. So a lot of people that come to my program have tried one of these. These are my green smoothies. I actually don't have them too much because I'm a cooked food person, but in the summer when it's hot, I tend to make these and they're so good. Yeah, I think in this I put like half a cucumber, 2 stalks of celery. What else do I put? A handful of broccoli, spinach, half a lemon, avocado, a banana, and an apple. That's what I put in this. It's amazing, right? It just makes me feel so good. Oh my God. Anybody else have a question on the call? Is there any way one could share this video outside of the page? Okay, yeah, Kimmy, I'm gonna be downloading this video and I'll put it on my main page. So I'll download it and I'll post it on my personal page so you can share it if you want. Let's think. I'm gonna share you guys some other tips. So I think another tip that I had for people that are trying to give up things, say it's like an addiction or they get triggered and they go to that substance, they go to that food, they go to that, they go to drinking or whatever, but they're trying to stop. The biggest time, the hardest time is when you get a craving. And that craving is initially really strong. Like there might be like a 30-minute window when you get the craving. The key is to get through the 30-minute window. Get through the 30-minute window. Because, and the best way to do that is like, if there's an addictive substance, try to keep it away from you. So don't go anywhere where that might be, first of all. Distract yourself, even if it's cleaning, even if it's going out in nature, calling a friend. I was saying this to Becky the other day. Sometimes once you get through the height of those emotions, then it calms down and you don't need it so much. It's like, have you ever felt that when you're dating, you have this craving to go out, or like last night, I kind of felt that I like wanted to go out and go to a bar, go dancing, but I could feel it was really just from a sad space. And once I just let it pass, let the emotion pass, I didn't give into it. The energy went with it, and I got through it, and I realized, I don't even really want to do that. So get through, try to do things where you get through that initial craving piece, because then it won't have such a hold on you. Let me see, you guys ask some questions. I'm almost done with your amazing program. What would be the best strategy for maintaining well-being after I'm done? So, thank you, Megan. I love you so much. I'm so happy you've been a part of this. You've done super well and learning all these tools. So I would say, first of all, it's committing to endless learning. Like, just committing to endless learning. I think there's a get it, forget it thing. So a get it, forget it. I've realized that self-healing it's not you're not doing it 1 second and it's done. You never get there and you never get it done. So you never get there and you never get it done. But I think what is great is, first of all, you have the tools. You have the tools to shift now all those feelings that you have. So I think the key thing is sometimes we have the tools, but we don't always utilize them or put them into practice. So the one thing I've realized with myself is that making time for, like, scheduling time for yourself, for your healing regularly, I realized this, it's super important. Meaning, oftentimes life starts to go good, we get really productive, but we start forgetting that the reason why we got there is because we did the work to get there, but then we stopped doing the work. So I know for me, for example, I went away up to the cottage this week, and why it was such a success was because I've learned about what makes me happy. And in a day, it's like I'd like tune into yourself and figure out, I'd ask yourself this question: what makes you happy in a day? What makes you happy in a day? And I'm gonna specify. So for me, I know I have good balance when I exercise, like, whatever, 3 or 4 times a week. That is, it doesn't have to be, for you, it could be just like whatever you want, walking in nature, whatever. So when I do that, my week is good. The other thing I know is every single day for myself, I need to get quiet time. Every single day. So it could be quiet time, healing, meditation. If I start to miss days where I'm not doing those things, say 1 day goes by, 2 days, 3 days, and maybe I'm working a lot and I've skipped those healing moments, my life starts to fall apart. It starts to go downhill. I start to get triggered. I start to get emotional. I think the key with keeping your vibrational state high is maintaining those things that do that for you. Does that make sense, Megan? So like when I went away on holiday, for example, first of all, I realized for me it was like, ask for help. So help. So I started to ask for that because I was like, that's something I really need in my life, is support. That's why I would ask you, what do you really need on a weekly basis from, maybe it's from others, maybe it's from yourself. What do you need to feel full, to feel high vibration, to feel ease? What would that be for you? Pop a comment, even right now, if you're still on the line. So I've learned, on the holiday, that's what I did. Every single time I was feeling anxiety, I started to take time away from my son, and I'd ask somebody, hey, can you watch my son? And I took an hour, and I just went in, I'd cry, and then I felt great. And then I went back to my family. It was like, went kayaking and went this. And before, it would be the 3rd and 4th day, and I wouldn't have given myself any break, and I'd be exhausted. So what is that for you? I'd be interested in knowing. The other thing I would say, for you moving forward, the best strategy for maintaining well-being, and making sure is the best strategy is just tuning into yourself on a daily basis. Tuning into what your needs are on a daily basis. Because I could say, eat healthy and all this Bull crap. You only want to eat healthy if you feel like eating healthy. Right? You only want to eat healthy if you feel like eating healthy. Comes up for you in the heart right now. Do you feel that? Something in your heart. So for you, I'd say learning to always connect in to make time for your heart, and then follow your intuition. Follow your impulses. Whatever you feel that you need to do, go after. Even if it's to take more programs, even with me or with somebody else. Okay? Do what brings you joy. Yes, the joy is so important. Even if it's to say fuck it to self-work. That might be it for a while. It might be just having fun, having a beer, chilling out. I don't know. Okay? So that's what I would say. That's one of my best strategies is look at what brings you joy. And I tend to look at all the areas of my life and I'll see which area of my life needs a little bit of attention, and I start to, but for me, I'm going to tell you, when I'm not in self-care mode, when I'm not loving myself, when I'm not giving time, everything else falls apart. So that's the very first thing, is just taking care. Don't lose yourself in productivity. Right? LOL, you know it. Everything falls apart. How high does my vibration have to be to manifest? My manifestation isn't working. Okay, so Megan says, how high does my vibration have to be to manifest? My manifestation is not working. Okay. This is what people think. This is what people think. People set an intention. Who here feels that their manifestation isn't working? Comment below. Okay. This is what happens. We set an intention. I want to find a job. I want to find this. I want to do this. I want to make money. I want to have a good relationship. And then what happens is everything is going to come up in your world. It's going to rise up. Every contrasting belief, every stored trauma, every piece of lack, not enoughness, abandonment, lack of control, all of the above is going to surface. And even if you feel like, oh my God, I'm in a good state, I'm having fun, but there is something under the surface that is actually like, here's where you want to be here. Okay? And here's your vibration here. And if these two are a mismatch, the universe is going to bring everything up that needs to be acknowledged or honored or transformed in order to move you from this place into this place. Do you see what I mean? So people will think, fuck, it's not working. It's not, and this is what happens. It's not working. Like, fuck! Everything I'm doing is not working. And first of all, it's also to get you to the place of creating that what you want, that everything that you want from that manifestation, having it now. So if the reason you want a job is for peace of mind, then you got to get peace of mind today and stop chasing. Because the chasing is like saying you're from a state of lack. And that's what I even realized when I went up on the holiday, is I realized, I was like, it's not about the money. It's not about the helping people. It's about the only, I like to say, this is it. This is it. There is a quote from Eckhart Tolle. They said, what's your secret to happiness? And he said, I don't mind what happens. I don't mind what happens. Oh my God. It's too good. But the reason is because if in every single moment you learn, when you feel sad, you learn to be there for yourself. You learn to give yourself what you need. What you're doing is you're starting to give yourself what you think you're going to get from whatever goal you're having. And when you get into that state of trust, when you get into that state of faith, you get into that state of fuck it. I don't give a fuck if my goal happens or not. That is the irony. Megan, I said it, forget it, and let it alone for a week. I thought I wasn't obsessed with the results, but now that it's been a little too late, yes, this is the whole thing, is we think we've surrendered. We think we've surrendered. We think we've let go. But back in our head, it's like, okay, if I surrender, then this is going to happen. It's like our mind. I'm the same. I'm just like, oh, I do the same thing. I have like a timeline of how long I can surrender for. Okay, I've surrendered. That's enough time of surrendering. Now it's time. Like, God, like, get on this. It's time. And God and divinity will always push you like 20 steps farther than you think you can handle. It will always, because what it's doing, and this is why it doesn't want to give you something right away, like your goal, or it doesn't want to give you it right away, because you will go back to your old thinking. Do you know what I mean? You will go back to your old thinking of like, oh, I'm going to do this, that the happiness is in the goal. But it's not in the goal, because this is the only moment there is. This is it, man. If you can't master the now, then you can't master the future. Even if, like, I've realized that even with my money, I thought that would make me happy. I thought making that money was really what was going to make me happy. And it doesn't. Like, I talk about it. It's great. Like, it's fun to think that's awesome and that you can do it. And it's fun to actually, the funnest thing for me is getting into alignment with the universe. But let me tell you, it's like the minute I get attached to it, it goes. And it's like God is reminding us, God and divinity is reminding us, it's like, that's not it. This moment, you and I here talking on the phone, this is it. This is it. Us being in sadness and not resisting the sadness. My brother used to love this, say this quote, and I love it, and it's called, "The ocean refuses no river." The ocean refuses no river. I just got shivers when I say that. But it's that God, and you are God, you are energy, it allows, it accepts everything in. So it's moving into that place of acceptance. And if, like, Megan, tell me now, so if you don't have what was it that you're wanting to manifest that's not manifesting? Is it a job? And when it doesn't manifest, what comes up for you? Because that's what you want to shift. What comes up for you when it doesn't come up? Is it, I'm doing it wrong? Is it, I'm not enough? Job. Yeah, job. Yeah, you can't rush God. This is the thing, guys. I was on the trail yesterday, and when I really get into the place of surrender, there's a belief that I have, and I say it time and time again, and it's this: my life is not my own. we think we have control in life. To some degree, we have control. To some degree, we have control until you realize life is the dancer. You're not the dancer. Life is the dancer. You are the dance. Meaning, life, even air, it breathes you. It's always breathing you. Every day, it's always breathing you. You have no control. You're being supported all the time. It's just our mind that interjects with time limits and constraints and rules and shoulds and have-tos and this kind of thing. So feeling like I'm not good enough, but I'm actually overqualified. Damn straight, girl. So for you, it's going into those feelings. Like, see, that's the irony. Where in your life did you feel like you were competent, you were capable, but someone made you feel like you weren't enough, even though you were? And angry. Yeah. So I would go into some of those feelings. And this is the thing. I see this time and time again with coaches and everybody, anyone on the line who is a coach and everything, is they're amazing at what they do. And I see coaches before they really start to explode. And they're awesome, but nobody really knows about them. Or nobody even sees their talents because they don't see their talents. And I realized that with me, even with asking for, $100 for a session in my life to asking $5,000 for a program or whatever. And nothing changed. I was doing the same work for the last 5 years. It's just my worth changed. The value I put on myself changed. So for you, it might just be starting to go into those feelings of being like, fuck you. It's good when you go to anger, because anger is that emotion of like, fuck you, I am competent, I am capable, stop telling me I'm not enough. I'm going to show you. It's a great, or I don't care what you think about me. So I'd say recognize that divinity has its own timing, that your life can change on a dime fast when you're manifesting. That don't rush God. And the gift of enoughness is far greater than the gift of a career. The gift of feeling enough, the gift of feeling worthy, is something that actually gives you contentment, whereas a job, it's external. You could have a really good job and still think you're not doing enough. Do you see what's a higher priority? God says, you say, I want a job to feel capable, to feel competent. And God says, skip the job. Can you feel competent now with or without the job? Just go directly to the root. Go directly to the root. Hi, Michelle. Everyone say hi to Michelle. She's part of the Breakdown to Breakthrough group. I'm so excited you're on the call with us. There's Kimmy, Becky, Megan, I think on the call. I love you guys. Good morning. So Megan, yeah, this is the thing. This is the one thing in life is we tend to want something to get competence. I want a job to be competent. I want money to have peace. And the universe wants you to skip the middle step and just go to peace and just go to competence. So it's like figuring out, how can I feel competent now with or without a job? How can I feel peace now with or without it, with or without more money? That's where I had to get to. I had to get to this place of, I was being stretched financially, and my tendency is to be like, I gotta work, I gotta work, I gotta work. And it's not giving me peace, sitting in that place of fear. And the universe wanted me to just step into, I am supported. Breath. Life breathes you all the time. You are being supported all the time. I did this meditation with my friend where it was around life breathing you. Shimrit, she's amazing. And I started to realize, fuck, I am supported all the time. Unconsciously supported all the time. And I had to just step in to that place of, what do I need now? What do I need now? Not what do I need later in order to get more clients. What do I need now? What am I feeling now when I'm fearful? Fuck, I don't need to make money right now. I just feel like going for a swim. I feel like just having fun and having joy. And wouldn't you know, I just started saying, F it. It took me a couple days on the holiday to stop this cycle. And I just decided to just have fun and not care and total surrender and just be in the moment of what I want to feel. And that's how I would like to feel if I had money, which would be like more money, which would be like holidays and having fun and playing tennis and just enjoying. And that's what I did every morning. I'd go for an hour swim, and I started running. And wouldn't you know, halfway through the week, boom, some random client from who knows where showed up, and I made $5,000. So I'm telling you, when the universe finally says, when you start to be in alignment and it says, okay, you've learned the lesson, then boom, when you become a vibrational match with that which you want to attract, it comes. It's always available. It's just, it's wanting you to learn. And I had to learn, it's not about the money. Fuck the money. I don't even care. That's the whole thing lately. I'm just like, whatever. And so what I did when I got home is I just started to make time for more holidays. I just started to make time for way more holidays because I realized I just got to build the joy. I got to build the fun. I got to create the sense of peace that I want every single day. So anyone else? Okay, enough. Anyone else have a question? Michelle, do you have a question? Let's see what else you guys said. What you think you actually attract. Where your brain goes over and over is where you end up. Think something negative. You're creating, think negative energy. Every word we speak manifests. Yes, every word we speak manifests. Especially even the little doubts, like the stuff that we don't even, the little doubts are like saying negative energy. So it's like, oh, I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to handle this. I can't handle this. You know, that's what you're saying to the universe. You can't handle it. It's like, then he's like, oh, you can't handle it? Okay, I'm not going to give it to you then. You can't handle it. Becky says, I need time alone, but also good conversation with good friends. Spending time with my cousin. Yes, and the kids, walking, being with my dog, meditation, counseling. Wow, this is it. What do you guys need? I want to hear from everyone on the call. What do you need to feel balanced in your day? What do you need to feel balanced in your day? So yeah, good friends. What does she say? Walking, being with her dog, all these things. Because sometimes we forget to schedule these things into our life, make them a priority. It's like making you a priority, not what you're chasing. It's making you a priority and not what you're chasing. Okay, so sometimes I used to get so, that's the Capricorn in me, so involved with the chase that I abandon myself. So you got to make it, like schedule it in. Am I missing something? I've moved from toxic job to toxic job. That says Megan. No, you're not missing anything, Megan. You're doing awesome. That's exactly where you need to be. This is the thing. So, it's what you say about what's happening that is creating the problem. So, it's people, for example, with relationships, going from one bad relationship to another, and people will say, am I missing something? Well, every single bad job, bad relationship is coming up in your world to liberate you. You know, it's like every like the best teacher is your worst enemy. It's kind of like that. Your best teachers are the most difficult people in your life. And they are, because they're going to bring up whatever trauma, whatever thoughts you have, whatever past traumas from childhood. So the key is when you keep getting toxic job, toxic relationship, you start to look for the patterns. And this is a little thing that, first of all, when I'm dating somebody, I'm going to tell you a little thing I have. I only date the guy if he starts talking about the last relationship. If he just starts to put down his ex-partner, gone. If he says, wow, you know, I was young, I really learned a lot in that relationship. Even if the person was a control freak or was a jealous or whatever, if they said, you know what, I really learned that I tolerated that kind of behavior, and I've been tolerating that kind of behavior my whole life. And instead of blaming that person, they say, you know, I had to learn how to stand up for myself. I had to learn the red flags. I learned that I didn't have a lot of self-worth, that I accepted being treated and manipulated. I realized that I was, you know, this kind of thing. So with you, Megan, moving from toxic job to toxic job, I would look at what's toxic about those jobs. Is there similarities between jobs? Because if there's certain lessons that are unlearned, they'll repeat themselves. So, you know, it could be like whether it's staff, or for you it might be being treated negatively from some of the clients, I guess, you know, not being appreciated, these kind of things, not being appreciated, not being seen. So I would start to look at the patterns. Ooh, because if you've been appreciated as a kid, then you might not put up with not being appreciated. But if you haven't been appreciated, yeah, I think it's a value thing. I don't feel like I'm valued. Okay, so that's it. Like, I knew it was something around that. So I don't feel like you're valued. So then it's like seeing where as a kid did I not feel valued? And why did I put up with it? You know, what did I put up with it for? Did you put it up? I'm getting something right here. I think that's yours. It's in your heart, right? Tell me if it's in your heart. I feel it in your heart. I think it's yours and not mine. Uncared for, unloved, something. So, yeah, I would go back and see where did I not feel valued. And then it's starting to, your whole thing right now, and it's funny, it really is about valuing yourself, isn't it? Because your stuff with feeling not good enough, but overqualified. Yeah, your thing is really a value thing, and starting to see the value within yourself. Why are you so valuable? I'm getting the feeling in my head. Okay. I don't know if I'm tuning in properly today, but starting to see, why am I so valuable? Why am I such a good asset to this company? Why are they lucky to have me? This kind of thing. And start to say everything you need to hear as a kid. Because if you don't, then it's just going to keep repeating itself. And it doesn't. This is what people think. When shit starts repeating itself, they think there is something wrong with them. Like, oh, I keep dating these same motherfuckers, like these guys that just treat me like shit. And that means like there's something wrong with me. No! There's nothing wrong with you. It's coming up to free you. The only thing that is wrong with you is thinking there is something wrong with you. Okay, the only thing that's wrong with you is thinking there's something wrong with you. Okay? Because this is what happens when we were treated like this as a kid. And that's what kids do. Their parents treat them, maybe their parents do subparish parenting. And they think there's something wrong with them. And it's their parents. The only thing that's probably wrong with you is exactly that, feeling not enough. Feeling not worthy. All of these things. So, and if it's in your head, where is it in your lower body? When people get energy in the head, it's always connected lower. There's something lower. There's a vibration going on lower. Usually, maybe is it in your, what lower chakra is it in for you, Megan? Because that's where you want to put your hands. If you're doing Reiki, you don't want to put your hands in the upper chakras. Stomach, exactly. It's usually stomach. When it comes to being valued, that's usually around not enough. So it always goes to the tummy. Okay? Usually. That's the self-worth one, yeah. So for sure. Okay. Yeah, so feeling, and you're not going to get that job until you feel just totally, you feel worthy. And that's a good thing, because we think we want to rush things, but you want to send out the energy of feeling worthy, and for people to see that you're worthy, like for you to be that, and for people to see it and to recognize it. So you don't want a job. You don't want to get the job before you have you see yourself, because then it will be the wrong job, because there'll be more that comes up. It will be more that comes up to make you feel unworthy. So this is why too, when people rush into relationships before they truly love themselves, and I'm saying, yeah, you're not gonna you're not gonna love yourself. It's impossible to love yourself all the time, obviously. But the more you love yourself, the more you're going to show to the world your true self. That true self, not this pretend self. You're going to show your whole self, your lazy self, your unproductive self. You're going to show your worst, what you think your worst is, with confidence. And then when that person sees you, they're seeing all of you, instead of you showing the good side of you. And then they discover it later and they go, this isn't what I signed up for. Wow, you're so emotional. This isn't what I signed up for. But if you start to be emotional right off the hop, damn. They're like, that's what I love about you. You see? So you got to value yourself. I love you guys. Anyone else have one last question? I'll let you guys just think about one last thing, and then I'll just speak to anybody. You guys, yeah, most of you guys are either on my program or not. But for anyone that's watching this, that ends up watching this, that wants to come home to themselves. They want to know how to move some of these painful emotions and connect it back to their childhood, and anyone that wants more ease in their life, and they want to know how to get themselves in a better emotional state, how to move themselves out of a more negative emotional state. Or maybe it's you want to create good relationships in your life, or maybe you want to kick a habit, or maybe it's just get healthy and get out of chronic illness, or struggling, suffering, cancer. These are things I work with people with. So I'm gonna chat while you guys are thinking of a last question. If anyone has one last question. Yeah, if you need support, I love you, Michelle. Oh my God. If anyone needs support and they want to do this program and they don't know if they have the money, or put the intention out there. I mean, divinity knows no boundaries. And what I mean by that is, if you think something's not going to happen, it's not going to happen. Opportunities can happen in the most magical way if you start believing it's possible. You have to start believing it's possible. So if you're really wanting to do this program, put the intention out, or, jump on a breakthrough call with me. It's an hour. I promise to be nice. Hop on a call or don't hop on a call. This is my new thing. I'm good regardless. So hop on a call with me and we really look at what's going on for you, where we think the roots are, and what it might take. It's a strategy session. What it might take to get there. You can ask me any questions you need to. I would love to answer them for you. I'm wondering if I should leave you with a quote. Maybe next time. I'll read you some of my best quotes from one of my favorite books. But I love you guys. Have the most amazing, amazing day. Take time for yourself. You're worth it. Go into those feelings, those hard feelings. Start to bring some kindness to the darkness, to the dark places. I saw a bat yesterday as I was walking on my trail, and I might write a post about it. And bats are really about being able to see in the dark, being able to listen to our intuitive, psychic senses. And it's really because life is a mystery, that we think we have control, that we think we have power really over what direction it is, and we don't. The only thing that we can choose is our response to it. And it's taking you somewhere. It's taking you on a journey. And I like to call it spontaneous arising. Spontaneous arising. Life is spontaneous arising. It is the dancer. It is the dancer. Just move with it. You got to move with it. I love you guys so much. Have a blessed day. I love you, Michelle. I love you, Megan, Becky, Kim. You guys are my family. So much love. Yay! What are you guys going to do today? Drop a comment. Drop a comment. What's up with you guys today? You're going to cry? Anyone going to cry all day? Aw, thanks, Becky. Brighten my day too. You know, you guys did this just as much for me because I was like, I need to start my day off good. I'm going to do a live. I'm going to get in good spirits. So thank you. Thank you. I'm going to go. So much love. You guys are doing amazing. There's nowhere to get to. You're already there. Peace.